Welcome to the Business Spotlight. I am so excited to have another beautiful Elaine with me today as I put her business under the spotlight. Now, if you're with us, you know that maybe you are starting out your business and you need some inspiration, or maybe you're in your business for a while and you feel stuck. You just don't know what to do next. You don't know whether you should keep going. And that's exactly why I speak to fabulously inspirational, mainly business women, because I want them to inspire you, for you to hear their story, to hear how they have really succeeded in business and why they keep going and continuing in their business. So today I'd like to say, hey, to Elaine Gold, who is an amazing business coach and consultant, and I am welcoming her to the Business Spotlight. Welcome, Elaine. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, it's a pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to our conversation. So it's great to be here with you.
Oh, me too. Me too. I can't wait. Now, so for anybody who doesn't know, you business coach can be quite generic and it
Yeah.
depends on what part of business coach you do. So could you just explain for any of the people who are watching, what do you do?
You're quite right. There's millions and millions of business coaches out there, all taking a different angle, which is as it should be. So I'm mostly focused on female founders because I've worked with the startups ecosystem for many years internationally and in the UK. And I know that there's particular issues that female founders have in growing their business. That can be emotional at one level. We talk about the dreaded imposter syndrome that a lot of female founders have, but there's very practical barriers and challenges that female founders face, particularly if they're wanting to grow their business and access funding. So I focus on female founders mostly, and I help them both to grow themselves and also to grow their businesses. Because as you grow your business, I found that there's a lot of transitions that you need to go through. You and your business need to grow through. So I help with those transitions. And if I can plug into my big network and help founders on the way, I'm very happy to support in a bit more of a hands-on way than some coaches may feel comfortable with doing.
Super. And why did you decide upon this? Like, why did you start your business?
Oh, well, this is a long story.
That's okay.
I mean, my background going back some years was in management consultancy, and I was a management consultant and a coach, executive coach with a kind of medium sized international consultancy. So, worked with sort of a number of corporates. That took me across to the Middle East. And whilst working over there, I was invited to head up as the role of director of innovation and strategy, so organization and strategy, a not-for-profit organization set up by the royal family that was set up to support youth entrepreneurship right across the Middle East region. And so I became really excited with working with startups and entrepreneurs. I love the energy of founders and the imagination, the innovation that's there. And so when I left the Middle East and came back to the UK, I was invited to co found the Global Entrepreneurship Network UK, which is one of 200 countries who are part of the Global Entrepreneurship Network that I've been part of for 15 years. So I worked with the Global Entrepreneurship Network UK. I'm still an ambassador for women in that. But a couple of years ago, I decided that I would step down from that role and focus on giving more one-to-one work with women, with female founders, but also because I love networking. That's when I also got involved with the Women in Business Network as well and became a franchisee for that. So there's a couple of hats that I wear, one as an independent consultant and one as a franchisee for the Women in Business Network, but clearly the activities are closely related.
Yeah, amazing. And oh, so tell me then, when you work with people, what do they love about working with you?
I think that the feedback that I get is that they really value the connections that I bring. As I say, sort of 8 years living and working in the Middle East, 15 years in the Global Entrepreneurship Network, and then back in the UK. So I can access, quite a big network of connections. But I love, and I think you're like this as well, Elaine, I love meeting people, being curious about what it is they do, and then finding that you get that trigger that says, oh, you would really love to talk with this person. So that's one thing that people value. And I'm also told that I am calm. and and that sort of helps as well when you're coaching people who might be stressed and anxious. And as you know, I'm not saying I'm always that way myself. I'm running my own business. There are challenges that happen for me too. But to be able to be that sort of calm voice amongst the noise is something that people say they value very much.
Yeah, it really helps. And I love talking to established businesses about this on the business spotlight because quite often these are the things that people don't think about, but when it comes to growing your visibility and it
Mm.
comes to marketing your business, these are the kind of things that really helps if you can identify them, as does my next question, which is what common issue props up for your clients?
Well, I think the issues that come to the fore more often. We talked a bit about the imposter syndrome for women, and that does come up regularly as well. As female founders, we're not very good at putting ourselves forward and having that strength and belief in ourselves, and what we do. So that comes up really quite regularly, but also for men and women in terms of growing their business. As you scale, things become much more complex. So you go from being a founder of your business and really doing everything, and having the passion and the excitement of being the founder, to appreciating that as the business grows, you've got to let go of a few things. And so your role changes. And that's why, I developed a program which I call From Founder to Leader, because there is a change and a transition in those roles from being you yourself founding the business and doing and leading and inspiring. You still need to inspire, but from a leadership perspective, rather, where other people are in, and you're having to manage maybe suppliers, contractors, but you're also having to manage more complex procedures and systems in your business, and that brings a whole different dimension. And those are common issues for any entrepreneur growing their business, male or female.
So true, so true. And so then what part of your business do you enjoy the most?
I do enjoy the face to face meetings. I mean, I'm enjoying this, and you and I have been privileged to meet each other in person, despite the geographical gap between us. But we did meet once, so the online networking works well, but there's nothing like the spark of meeting people. I always enjoy my women meetings, the face to face women meetings, the conversations that go on, and the way that you see relationships grow and blossom with the members of those groups. So it is the networking and interaction, but I am actually quite a strong introvert. So people always find that surprising that, I spend so much time in networking situations, which you might call extrovert situations. But no, I love it at the time. But then when it's finished, I have to and recharge myself,
I am the
recharge my
same.
batteries.
I am the
Oh,
same. I
really?
did not know that about you. I
Oh,
am the
yes.
same.
Yeah,
It's mad, isn't it? Because
it
people
is.
always peg me for an extrovert,
Me
but
too.
I have to just really be careful of how much I network in person.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
yeah, that's so funny. I didn't know that about
Yeah, yeah,
you.
yeah.
Boop.
Elaine.
Yeah, that's another thing we have in common. This wild. Um, tell me, like, I love that because you've worked in internationally. You work with different stage entrepreneurs. Tell me who in business inspires you?
I don't like to think of a particular individual. There's a number of individuals. I find actually a kind of sort of cohort of women entrepreneurs that inspire me are the women in the Middle East actually,
Yeah,
and I have been so in awe of some of those Arabic national women in states where they've had even more pressures and constraints than we have to actually succeed in their business,
yeah,
and they're really rocking it. You know, the entrepreneurs that I meet from Saudi, from UAE, from Qatar, they're very inspiring. They're really sort of taking the opportunities that they have, growing their business, and just rocking it. You know, they're really doing very well, and they've also got a lot of groups of funders, VCs, and investors who are also sort of women only funds that put money into their businesses. So I think that's inspiring. And seeing the development over the years that I have since coming back from the UK has been great too, to see how they are developing.
yeah. Wow. Okay. That makes sense. That makes complete
Mm.
sense. Tell me, what advice would you give a new business in terms of when it comes to increasing their visibility?
Right. Now, most businesses now are using LinkedIn, and I think increasing your visibility via LinkedIn is the way for most professional businesses to go. Now, I know with some businesses that might not be the appropriate platform for them. There may be Instagram or Facebook might be most appropriate. But I still think for the majority of businesses, LinkedIn is the place to be to increase your profile. And that is all about, it's about being genuine, it's about being approachable, it's about telling your personal story. And I mean, this is your whole area of expertise, Elaine, but I think it's important as well that video is presented in your marketing and raising your profile, because as we know, doing business is all about doing business with people we know, like, and trust. And how can you create that in a distant virtual situation? I think video helps with that. It helps
Yeah.
people to get a feel for who's this person, what's their personality like, which speeds up the process of building a relationship.
Yeah, you're completely right. And particularly now that LinkedIn have gone wholeheartedly behind video and
Mm.
they have their own video stream.
Mm.
And particularly these days, if you want to scale outside word of mouth or referral, then you have to have
Yeah,
some kind of online
you do.
presence. And
You do.
unfortunately, like a website is great, social media is great, but you're so right, Elaine, when it comes to people like getting that spark from you,
Mm.
really
Mm.
understanding
Mm.
what your personality is
Mm.
before they meet you on Zoom or Teams
Mm.
or Google,
Mm.
then yeah, video, it's,
Yeah.
I know so many people are allergic,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But it's a
Yeah.
skill. I think just to add to what you just said, like everyone's first video is dreadful.
Mm.
You
Mm.
know,
Yeah.
like mine was dreadful, dreadful,
Yeah.
dreadful.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I still have it. I must share it. You know, it's something that is a skill, and just like a baby learns to walk, you know, we too can learn how to do a decent video.
Yeah. And I think don't get flustered if you fluff it, because I think as well that's part of the human side of things. I mean, I also I'm on TikTok, and I watch other people's TikTok videos, and they're all about how to edit, how to make the perfect thing, how to pause it. And I'm thinking, I can't be bothered with. It's just one take, and if I fluff it, if I and well, that's the way it is, really. I'm not going to keep redoing it. So just be natural. And I think that's what people want to see now, particularly in this world of AI, text creation, and obviously much more sophisticated than just AI created text in posts on LinkedIn. But the video, just be natural and be yourself.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And in terms of advice, then, in your business, and I understand that you've traveled and you've
Mm,
had different businesses, and also been part of different businesses.
mm,
What, like, even is some examples of best advice received that you could share with people who might be at the start of their journey or
yeah.
might be at that resuscitation part of their journey, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think having a support network is critical in starting your business. Now, whether that's a personal support network, hopefully, you've got friends and family who are behind you, supporting you, but that kind of group. Sometimes talking about your business idea to close family is not always a good idea. They're the ones who are going to say, "Don't do it, don't do it." But having the support network for your emotional support around you is essential, and having a mentor or a coach who acts as a sounding board. And people can find, if they're starting their business, there's a load of different schemes out there now where they will provide mentoring support for a period of time with very little cost to do that. So if you're starting your business and you think, I can't afford a business coach or a business consultant, there will be other ways in which you can get that kind of mentoring support. There's a number of different schemes and organizations that are available to do that, to provide that. So support network, emotional support network, and a business sounding board, a mentor, a coach would be key for that.
Yeah, I agree. I really do. I think I really believe in if we can't see it, then how can
Mm,
we be it?
mm,
And
yeah.
so I just feel you need to look for people who are just a couple of steps up the ladder from you
Mm,
so
mm,
that you can see that it's possible
yeah.
and that you can talk to them and you can see what they're doing. It may not be this right for you, but still it's just about being open to possibility
Yeah.
and knowing that it's possible at any age, at all the mindset issues we might have, any weight, any height,
Mm,
you know. It's
yeah,
possible,
absolutely. Yeah,
so that's
yeah,
great
yeah.
advice. And I love that you said about a emotional support network, because sometimes
Yeah.
actually, like you and I are part of Women in Business Network,
Mm, mm,
and sometimes people just think, oh, you've joined that network to get clients, but it's not always just about that. It's
mm,
also
mm,
about just like the WhatsApp groups to go, oh
mm,
gosh, like this has
mm,
happened, or,
mm,
or does anybody have this
mm,
kind of person who could help me? Or
yeah,
having that network of women or men who know people,
yeah,
it can really help, or just as you said, just someone to talk to sometimes and go, oh, I've had it, and
yeah,
go, come
yeah,
on,
yeah.
keep going. It's so important, isn't it?
It really is. It really is, because it is, it is that kind of roller coaster. I mean, everybody has highs and lows, whether they're running their own business or working as an employee with a business. But I think the other thing I would say is that if you're starting out your business, it's really important to know your why, as they say, or why are you doing this? Because that's what you need to hang back into when you've got those moments when things are going tough, to remind yourself of the reason why you're doing it. What is it you're wanting to achieve? What is the purpose that's really driving you and your business going through? So get that clear right at the outset, and that will help to carry you through.
So true. I recently saw, actually speaking of TikTok, I recently saw this guy. He had just hit 2 million streams. I've no idea what that means. However, he said, 2 years ago, I had one viewer, like one. And he goes, it was my dad. And he was like, I just kept showing up. And he said, like, if I had given up after three viewers, I would never have hit 2 million streams. And
Yeah,
he was just like, so you gotta keep going.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
was just like,
yeah,
oh, that's so
yeah,
inspirational, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a quote. I'm trying to remember who was it. One of the big management gurus back in the day, who said 80% of success is so turning up
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
showing up.
Yeah.
So
That's how you get lucky
yeah,
because you meet the
yeah,
right person.
yeah,
You're in the right
mm,
place at the right time,
mm,
but that's because you actually showed up,
yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah.
so, yeah, like I really agree with you. I really agree with you. So
Mm.
tell me, well, I think I know the answer to this because of your answer earlier on. But how do you promote your business?
Mm.
LinkedIn by any chance?
I am regularly on LinkedIn. I probably bore people to death on LinkedIn, but I do
No.
post. I do post regularly, mostly text posts. I do post video clips as
Yeah.
well, which I repurpose, stick them everywhere. I have a weekly newsletter that goes out on a Wednesday. Usually, I've just done today's being Wednesday. That's gone out. So that's really how I do it, and I do networking. Not just the women network. I do attend other organizations networking as well, so that I'm getting myself out there really.
Yeah, well, good strategies from what I can hear.
And build your database. That's the other thing,
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is, I would agree with that, Elaine. I mean,
Mm.
ultimately, you never know what's going to happen with the social platform, you never know who's going to buy it and how
Yeah,
their policies are going to change or
yeah,
what they're going to start charging for or things that maybe ethically you don't agree with.
yeah,
So the one thing that you own is your list, your
yeah.
database, whether it's phone numbers or email addresses. So yeah, you're dead right.
Mm-hmm.
The only
Mm-hmm.
reason to be on social media at all is to borrow somebody else's platform that they've grown
Yeah.
and then to ideally create a list of some description. So yeah,
Yeah.
good advice, great advice. Okay, tell me, as we come to the end of our chat, what's the dream? Like, what's the dream for you, let's say in the next 12 months, for your business?
Yes, very good question. I would like to grow my networking groups, grow my women networking groups. I have three face-to-face groups at the moment in London, Central and South. I have one online group, which has got a global perspective, reflecting back my experience. I would be wanting to open a couple more groups this year, but I'm also, growing my coaching client base as well, and bringing in new offers to my coaching clients too. So that's where it goes.
Watch the space. Watch the space. Oh, exciting. So then how can people work with you?
Yeah, well, I do have a website, and that's very simply elaine-gold.com, Gold. And people can see on there a bit about my female founders program, about what I'm doing in terms of helping organizations, teams, and individuals with networking and building relationship, coaching or training for that. And of course, people can connect with me on LinkedIn and continue the conversation there.
Great. Oh, well, perfect. Okay, well, listen, we're going to drop the links around this video so that you can reach out to Elaine. Oh, Elaine Gold, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the Business Spotlight. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you. It's gone very fast, I have to say. Yeah,
Oh, it's been brilliant.
I
It's been
thoroughly
brilliant.
enjoyed it.